My name is Keeaumoku Kapu from Kaula Valley, here in Lahaina, and we're in our cultural center known as Kanaiolowalu. And the biggest subject in the minds of everyone today is the Royal Commission. I think maybe we gotta rewind this baga a little bit back when, if everybody remembers, back in the 90s, they came out with 1993 when President Clinton signed that apology bill. I think that's where everything started, because in the apology bill they mentioned about two remedies for self-governance and self-determination for Native Hawaiians, and one was the plebiscite. Yeah, the other one was referendum. So through plebiscite, they tried to put together this so-called Sovereignty Elections Council to see whether the Native Hawaiians wanted sovereignty or not. But that went kind of a little bit faulty when they started sending these so-called ballots out to the general community, trying to diminish the the minority versus majority kinds of things. So they called it Hawaii back then. So in that so-called plebiscite, they tried, but I think they said somewhere around 75% of people cast their ballots. Myself, with a lot of Kanakas from Oahu, we took our ballots down to Iolani Palace and we lit it right in front. We burned it. We didn't want to be a part of the process because we knew that was illegal. The second process was referendum. Now, to the referendum process, what we saw basically was escalating in the past is how you going to get all these Kanakas to sign into some kind of remedy, but still yet, in despite whatever remedy was made, that still was being controlled by a state entity. Under the rules of international law, any other state cannot coincide or cannot even subsidize assistance to a nation. That the nation has to be there in full to build the process among themselves. This was kind of funny because it was being supported by monies coming from the United States or coming from the state of Hawaii. So the first thing we seen come out back then was, how Hawaii was trying to get everybody to sign up. They signed up a small amount of people. A lot of people was kind of, akahele. They didn't want to get involved in the process, so Hawaii went kaput. Then I would say probably about 10 years later, 10 maybe longer, here comes Kauinoa. Now Kauinoa was, they called it nation building. Okay? So that's the referendum, getting people to sign up. But the pitch in that, where they basically lost the venue to educate people how important nationhood was saying that sign my pala, we gave you a free t-shirt. So once we saw that, I said, you know what, this is a total burnout, because they're coming in, they're saying, okay, you know what, everybody wants a Kauinoa t-shirt on the nation building. So that was the draw. It didn't provide any venue or didn't provide any clarity on how this process was going to be done. All it did was take down names. They're claiming that they got 80,000, 100 and something thousand names. Yeah, but that was from a shirt. It had nothing to do with the so-called plebiscite. I mean, the referendum. All it was a piece of shirt, a piece of cloth provided by the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. So, because of that, there was so much dismay, distrust, bad remarks that was made upon that so-called process that was created. Now all of a sudden today we see this Royal Commission. When the Royal Commission was created, which has a lot to do with our new governor, when he came in, he appointed individuals to this Royal Commission. No background, no process on how these individuals was going to be selected. It seemed like it was a behind closed door kind of deal. They selected certain individuals to sit on this Royal Commission. One was our, our old governor before, Governor Waihe'e, he's the chair, and some other individuals that basically got involved. And the part I don't like about it is they locked themselves down for a whole year trying to figure out a process on how they can, and the big question is nation build again. So anytime when you get things like that, to me, my personal opinion is you gotta have transparency. There wasn't transparency in this. All of a sudden recommendations was made. This so-called body of 5 got together privately on the 15th floor in the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. I'm hearing open to the public. That's only if people not working and they have the time to come down and really sit down and listen to what is being created. But that's not the case. That hasn't been the case. So now all of a sudden there's tabloids out there saying, okay, you guys gotta sign up, and if you don't sign up, you're not gonna be part of the process when it starts. So they're out there right now today signing up individuals for the Royal Commission, because the deadline, once the deadline comes, when they start putting the puzzle together, everybody needs to be involved in the process. It's kind of third world to me, that all of a sudden, you're getting pushed up against the wall saying that you gotta be involved in this, or else when the time comes and you're not signed up, poof, you're out of here. You ain't gonna even be a part of this so-called process. What about the people that live in the sticks, like the Kuleana landowners? They're not privy to this so-called information, that all they like to do is plant taro, all they like to do is just live the Kupa Aina style. They don't want to be involved up in the politics. Who represents them? And that's my point. For myself, I gotta tell you the truth. Because I understand policies and procedures and all these kinds of things, and I also ran for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. During that running for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, I signed up. And the reason why I signed up is because I want to be the loud voice inside, instead of the guy standing at the door telling these guys to let me in, but the door can get slammed in my face. So I got involved in this. I signed my name to that pala to make sure that we get people inside there really addressing, this so-called peel-out process. And I hate to say it, but I think we gotta find other remedies of making sure that everybody is pleasant inside here when it comes to recommendations, and not just force the hand and telling them that if you don't sign up, you're not gonna be a part of the process. That's my major concern. Then my concern is, by applying, by signing up for this thing, is answering for all those other guys that didn't want to sign up. What's going to happen to them? And when that time comes, whatever is going to come, but as things have been escalating from, I would say, within the past 3 months, I think Congress is going to be going crazy. Because now that the main man, second under the president, which is Inoue, now he's gone. They put in this one guy inside it that is so inexperienced. When you're coming in one congressional seat, the issue of this so-called commission is going to come out, and it's going to come out big, on whether or not all these other Republican states out there is really going to pounce down to say whether or not the United States should even intervene in this so-called process to give Native Hawaiians federal recognition. And that's what this whole thing is all about. Once you gain federal recognition, then we fall under the so-called what? Native American Act? There's a lot of problems behind this that I see, that right after, I think it was November, all of a sudden now I'm hearing that DHHL signs an agreement to be placed under the Native American Act. So 50% Native Hawaiians all of a sudden now fall under the United States jurisdiction. They was the ones that was holding the boat, holding this into place. The 50%ers recognized through legislation are the entity under liquid measurement, that falls under the Hawaii State Constitution. The 49 percenters fell under the United States Constitution as second-class citizens. So all these kinds of things needs to be addressed based upon our character and identity as Kanaka before we even start talking about Royal Commission, before we even start talking about self-governance. We should start talking about our identity as pertaining to who we are first. Once we gain clarity where we are in the state of Hawaii, yeah, under the crown of the kingdom of Hawaii, which is still here, to find out that question, who we are and where we are, I think we have a bigger standings inside there. As for now all of a sudden we get two pieces of the pie, the 50% versus the 49% battling, yeah. And I can see that the 49% are getting fed up, so a lot of them signing into the Royal Commission. I'm 90% Hawaiian, but I'm not under DHHL. So where am I? I'm just a Kanaka living on Kuleana lands, trying to survive this so-called political process. Not enough clarity on the congressional side. And I wanted to mention another thing on the Congressional Act, that the only way Native Hawaiians are recognized today, you have to be a 501c3 non-profit organization to be recognized under the so-called Native Hawaiian organizations under NAGPRA, which is under the feds. This process, where does it really place us under the Indian Act? We're not Indians. So a lot of questions needs to be asked, and I hope when that time comes, I'm going to be one of those big bangers inside there really asking those questions to make sure, is it legally binding? If it isn't, then I think we got to reel this damn hook in, yeah, and start all over again. So that's my mana'o of the Royal Commission. It's scary. A lot of people is very, very optimistic about this so-called other process that is happening. I'm just a guy, well, you may as well call me the mole ole lehua, that you know, gotta go inside there and try to figure out what is the venue or the revenue for our Kanaka people. So, I don't know.
If anybody would like to know any more of your information, how can they reach you?
Keeaumoku Kapu at yahoo.com, Keeaumoku Kapu at yahoo.com. Can get in touch with me or look me up. I stay on Facebook too. Mahalo.
Aloha ai ka pono a ka aina. Aina ia mai ana ka puana. Kapo e aloha i ka aina.
In this day and age of progress and change, we as a people must progress as well. But in doing so, we cannot, under any circumstance, forget our culture, our language, and our history. Hawaii no ko kako kuleana. Aloha.
La 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 la.